All right, so we'll talk about my favorite semiconductor company today, Nvidia. We can see the stock price is sitting at $497 roughly. When is this thing going to break $500? Let me know in the comments below. Is it going to be January, February, March, or never? Besides that, what I really want to do is let me ask you a quick question, guys. When we think of Nvidia and the AI market, who do you believe are the biggest customers, or who do you believe are some of the big growth stories? I feel like if I was to read your mind right now, most of you would probably say the big cloud server providers like Amazon, like Microsoft, like Google out there, who are the ones that are going to invest a lot and a lot of money in AI GPUs due to the overall need of computational power. But I do believe there is one other customer that many people are not talking about, even though NVIDIA has really kind of brought them up in the past 3 months. And that is AI sovereign. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more in today's episode. So let's take a closer look.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So, if we start off with this new customer that I want to take a closer look at, it's actually individual countries. And you might be like, hey, Jose, how is this a thing? And how can you even measure this? Well, if we take a step back and look at November 17th of 2023, AI is expected to see a major second wave, NVIDIA CEO says at a recent fire chat. And this was a fire chat, I believe, in France or somewhere in Europe. I do believe it was in France. And NVIDIA's CEO mentions that sovereign AI is a growing need for countries to reflect unique cultural, linguistic, and industrial characteristics. And why would individual countries need their own AI? Well, I mean, first, obviously, you can think about it in forms of national defense and security for some extent. You can obviously put that in the first list of your mind. But the other thing is every country is different in forms of language, in forms of culture, in forms of data sets, in forms of just how they communicate and the amount of data that they do, right? Maybe certain countries are great with plenty of data in the automotive market, in the robotics market, in the industrial market, while maybe some other countries are just amazing at everything else. I'm looking at you, America, and so on and so forth, right? So there's different reasons and different data sets where a large language model or some form of AI solution might work for one country and might not necessarily work for another. And this is where NVIDIA CEO says that they are seeing a huge amount of growth right now. If we take a closer look, Jensen mentions that first, a recognition that every region and every country needs to build their sovereign AI. The adoption of AI in different industries as generative AI spreads throughout the world. Now, the second time we really started to hear about sovereign AI was during NVIDIA's Q3 earnings of November 21st, a few days after the fireside chat that I was just discussing. And we can see here the CEO mentions that many countries are awakening to the need to invest in sovereign AI infrastructure to support economic growth and industrial innovation. With investments in domestic compute capacity, nations can use their own data to train large language models and support their local generative AI ecosystems. For example, they're working with India's government and largest tech companies to kind of bring sovereign AI to India. We're also going to see how French private cloud server providers like Scaleways are building a regional AI cloud based on NVIDIA solutions to bring AI solutions to France and Europe and various startup companies. And this is another growth opportunity here. So when we think of AI, I mentioned the first big players are your Amazons and your normal cloud server providers, and these are globally, right? Then the second one we're talking about, the one I'm talking about right now, is governments and countries, right? And then outside of that, there is an extension to the countries, and that's unique or sovereign cloud server provider. So, and what do I mean by this? And these are small cloud server providers that are creating solutions within a country or within a region to focus within those laws and regulations that focus with AI. And this is a perfect example, NVIDIA and Scaleway. So NVIDIA and cloud server provider Scaleway are working together to deliver access to GPUs, NVIDIA AI enterprise softwares, and service for turbocharging large language models and generative AI development development for European startups. The main reason for this is regional cloud server providers like Scaleway provide a strategic path forward for companies to do business in Europe with sovereign infrastructure, where Scaleway operates are fortified by compliance certifications. Remember, each country and region has their own form of compliance law, data laws, and regulations. So when you are creating these regional cloud server providers, you are making sure that you're following those certifications that ensure things like data security, covering key aspects like healthcare, public safety, governance, and public service activities. So outside of countries building their own large language models, I do believe that all over the world, we're going to start to see cloud server providers popping out that are going to be meant for these startups within countries that want to build AI solutions. So they're obviously going to buy up a lot of NVIDIA hardware. And their perk is that they're going to have the right amount of compliance certifications for you to do the business within that country, especially dealing with AI, which is such a evolving market at the time. Now, now this is not the only example, right? We are seeing kind of nations continue to build these huge supercomputers. But before we go any further, guys, if you are enjoying the episode so far, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 30,000 by the end of the year. I'm not sure if it's possible. We got like 2-3 days, but if it is, maybe this video might do it. So make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Another example is Jupiter. Jupiter is a supercomputer that's going to be hosted in Germany and will be powered by NVIDIA's Grace Hopper architecture to deliver various AI solutions. This is going to be a machine that comes with 24,000 Grace Hopper 200 super chips. And the Jupiter supercomputer will be used for various challenges that are kind of inflicting the world, like climate and weather prediction, drug discovery, quantum computing technology, and industrial engineering. Now, outside of that, we are also seeing reports on November 13th that NVIDIA's Grace Hopper superchip powers 40 plus AI supercomputers across global research centers. And we just talked about Germany's Jupiter supermachine, but we're also seeing in Japan with their Joint Center for Advanced High Performance Computing Ventures that they are installing a next generation supercomputer that will be powered by Grace Hopper. We also see here in the United States, in Texas, we are seeing a supercomputer being built there. We also see in Illinois a supercomputer being built there. We also see the Insenbard AI in UK being built. And these are systems that are joining the previously announced systems that were in Swiss and in Los Alamos National Laboratories here in the United States as well. So we continue to see all these huge advancements of AI supercomputers coming into the market, and I do believe we are going to continue to see that growth expedite in 2024 and 2025, which does bode well for NVIDIA. Now here we can see how NVIDIA expects 2024 and 2025 to be a huge growth in performance or exaflops of AI, and many are thanks to various Grace Hopper supercomputers that are expected to be built up in the upcoming quarters and the upcoming years. And remember, this is a perfect example how AMD gets a lot of revenue from these supercomputers when they come out. Imagine NVIDIA building tons and tons of these supercomputers globally, what it can really do for their overall data center revenue. Now, another perfect example is the one I mentioned earlier with India, and NVIDIA partners with India giants to advance AI in the world's most populous nation. And this came out on September 8th of 2023. And here, NVIDIA is partnering up with a lot of big tech giants to create AI computing infrastructure and platforms for developing AI solutions, obviously using NVIDIA's Grace Hopper 200 superchip and NVIDIA Cloud. And one of the main reasons is when you apply it in Indian context, AI can help, for example, rural farmers interact via cell phones in their local language to get weather information and crop prices. It can help provide at massive scale expert diagnosis of medical symptoms and image scans where doctors may not be immediately available. And just like we saw, some of these big companies are creating regional cloud server providers that are going to help with startups in that region of India, for example, here. Now, most recently, I do believe on early December 4th, NVIDIA says he will try to prioritize Japan for AI processors because right now the demand, and the main reason is because countries like Japan are realizing that you need to own your your own data, build your own AI factories, and produce your own AI intelligence. So obviously, there is a huge market opportunity here. And we actually hear about sovereign AI in recent technology conferences for investors by Nvidia. One was on December 7th, where they were at a technology conference, and the other was at November 28th, where they were at UBS Technology, Media, and Telecommunication conferences. And within those presentations, Nvidia didn't add anything new that I didn't discuss in this video, so I'm not going to take a closer look at them, but it's just pretty important and something Nvidia investors should know that, hey, look, sovereign AI is something that can definitely be a huge growth opportunity for Nvidia in 2024 and beyond, and obviously can bode well for their Nvidia AI hardware. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.